What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a nice, safe weekend. And as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you stick around by hitting that subscribe button. Give this video a like, share this video, and let them know what's going on over here in the nest with your boy Crow. But anyway, in today's video, we will be diving into why the sneaker culture has changed for the worse. These are just my opinions, so y'all let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with something or if you disagree. But if you are a sneakerhead or you're just interested in this topic, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you share this video because you definitely done stumbled across the right channel. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Reason number one, over commercialization. Now, I say this because the sneaker culture used to be about passion and creativity and the love for stylish footwear. However, with the rise of big brands and limited edition releases, the focus has shifted to profit and exclusivity. This has led to a loss of the original essence of the sneaker culture, making it more about owning the most rare and expensive sneakers rather than appreciating the design and the art behind them. Now, for a deeper dive into what we're speaking on, for example, back when shoes was dropping, people really cop shoes that they actually like. Nowadays, they cop shoes because, oh, it's expensive. I can say I got this specific shoe right here and this shoe is worth $500 or $600 or $1,000, but not really copping the shoe because they like the design or they like the history behind the shoe. Like a lot of these Jordans, for example, Jordans, when they dropped back in the day, they had meaning to it. Like Jordan probably scored a certain amount of points in that specific shoe. He might have jumped from the free throw line in a certain shoe. He might have hit the last shot in a certain shoe. So back when Jordans was really Jordans, people was respecting the history behind that Jordan. Nowadays, they'd rather chase a shoe like a Travis Scott because he's a rapper and he has hype behind his name and his shoes resell for a good price. So that means if you walking around with some Travis Scotts on, hey, everybody looking at you like, dang, that's him, he got money. So instead of buying the shoe because you like the design or the history behind the shoe, they just buying it because it kind of gives them this image of I got money or I'm fly, other than really copping the shoe because you really like the shoe. And that is bringing down the culture because it's affecting other people that really buy shoes for that specific reason. Because you got a lot of people that respect the history that come with Jordans, respect, you got people that respect the history that comes with certain Jordans, certain stuff that Michael Jordan did in that specific pair of Jordans. Like nowadays, we'll get an OG colorway that Michael Jordan could have scored, man, 60 points in them joints, and they gonna sit, especially if they ain't got no hype behind it, which is kind of backwards, because back in the day, that shoe would have flew off the shelf just because of the history behind the shoe. But nowadays, it's more about what's expensive and how much profit I can make off this shoe, like what's the market on this shoe. People don't buy the shoes no more for the love of the shoe or for the love of the design. They just buying the shoe because they feel like it's gonna put them on a certain pedestal if they have this shoe. For instance, Travis Scott's retail at $150 at the lowest, and it's basically a Jordan 1 with a reverse Nike sign. But the resale value is really there. But ask yourself this question right here. If Jordan brand was to bring out a Jordan 1 low that was not a collaboration with Travis Scott with a reverse Nike sign, do you think they will hold the same value, or do you think people will still go after that shoe like they will go after it because it has Travis Scott name behind it? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I wouldn't buy it. I'm not really even a fan of the reverse Nike sign, but I have copped a pair because they was Travis Scott. So I'm kind of guilty of it too. So I know it's a lot of people that's out there that's the same way. If Jordan came out with a Jordan 1 low with a reverse Nike sign, and Travis Scott had nothing to do with it. Like, Travis Scott not even in the picture. We ain't saying he just didn't have nothing to do with this specific pair. Travis Scott never created a Jordan 1 low. He was never with Jordan. And Jordan brand came out with their own Jordan 1 low or Jordan 1 high with a reverse Nike sign. Do you think they would still be worth $1,500, $2,000, $2,200? All these crazy numbers, in the shoe retailed at $150. And it don't get me wrong, the quality control is always going to be better because it's a collaboration. Okay, we'll give them that. But we also got some Jordan 1s, Jordan 1 lows that's not collaborations, that has the same type of quality, but they sit because it's a regular Jordan 1 low. But that's just a perfect example of explaining over commercialization. People do not buy the shoe for the love of the shoe no more, for the love of the art, for the love of the design, or just, like I said, the history that this specific shoe holds. They only buying the shoe because it's going to put them in a certain category of people if you own this shoe. So, and then a lot of people don't even buy the shoe to wear it. They just want to buy it to say, I got it because this shoe got high demand or a high resale value, so they feel like if they could get their hands on this shoe, it's really making them somebody. But that's what's changing the game. That's why a lot of these retro OG colorways that we get, like Jordan 13 playoffs, back in the day, them Jordan 13 playoffs would have sold out. You wouldn't even see a pair right now. Right now, you can still get them joints full retail, or probably some places below retail. But back in the day, a playoff Jordan 13 would have never sat at all. That shoe would have been gone. But the world that we live in now, if it ain't got no hype or collaboration, or it don't have no resale value to it, there's no hype to it. And now that's all it's about nowadays. But we're gonna get into that discussion later on in the video. So you're gonna want to watch the whole video, y'all. I'm telling you, you're gonna want to watch the whole video. We're gonna go over some good topics. We're gonna talk about some things that need to be heard. But yeah, that was my first topic, man. So let me know in the comment section down below if y'all agree that over commercialization is one of the reasons the sneaker culture is dropping. Moving on to reason number 2. Reselling and scalping. The sneaker market has become a breeding ground for resellers and scalpers who only buy limited edition sneakers and sell them at ridiculous prices, but also promotes a toxic environment where the value of a sneaker is determined by its resale price rather than its design and culture significance. Now, to dive a little deeper into what was just said, nowadays you got everybody want to resell. Don't get me wrong, I don't knock nobody hustle. Get your money how you get your money. But we got to understand the difference between being a follower and having a God-given talent to sell shoes. Now, I say this because, or I said what I said in the beginning, because now we get shoes that release, right? People can say that it's a brick. It can start off a brick. You know what I'm saying? Then if it get a little bit of hype, it's not a brick no more. Or if it's margin for any type of profit, it can be $30, $40, $25. And this is where it's hurting the game. This is where it's kind of destroying, or, you know, hurting the sneaker culture, because you got a certain shoe that come out, right? Now, it's people that really want this specific shoe, but you got a couple resellers. Don't get me wrong, I resell myself, but that's another story for another time. But anyway, boom, you could be in a line. This shoe that's coming out this day, market can be sitting at we're gonna say $290, and the shoe is retailing at $225 plus tax. So by the time you pay the tax, and however you gonna get your people they shoes, a lot of the times these shoes don't even be worth spending your money on to get that small profit. But I say this to say that gets in the way of the people that's not reselling, that want to get this shoe for themselves. So that's when, oh shit. This is where it becomes an issue because it's not really a lot of room for profit on a specific pair. And some of these resellers know that, but they still buy the shoe anyway, which gets in the way of somebody that's not a reseller that just want the shoe for the toe. So a lot of these new resellers, when I meant by being a follower and not having a God-given talent to buy shoes or sell shoes, when you have a God-given talent, it's just something that you know how to do. Like, you're gonna master it regardless. So people that I feel that have a God-given talent, they not gonna buy every shoe. They know that every shoe is not worth it. They know market, they know they profit, they know they inventory, they got everything down pat. Now, you got other resellers that don't do that. They just don't care. They just jump in the game because it look like fun, or maybe they got some little extra money they can play around with, and then they just buy shoes that don't even have a lot of profit. Like, for instance, you could have let that shoe slide and let somebody that was in the line behind you maybe get it for themselves for the toe. But instead, you bogart, go buy the bigger sizes, then you get in the way of other people when it's not even a lot of space for money to be made there. But now it's like, it don't matter. As long as it got just a tad bit of height, it could just have a tad bit of height, and it's going down the drain. And it's going down the drain. So that's pretty much what's going on nowadays. And hey, it's getting bad because it definitely has become a breeding ground. Everybody wants to resell shoes. And people gotta understand, everything is not for everybody. Because selling shoes is not easy. It's definitely not easy. You gotta know your inventory. You gotta know how much money you spent. You gotta know how much money you can make off this specific pair. You gotta know when to hold. You gotta know when to fold. You gotta know when this shoe should be bought this day and sold the very next day. Every shoe is not worth holding on to, and a lot of these new resellers don't know that. And then they get in the way of other people again by doing that. Now, for instance, we got the Thunder 4s dropping tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this video. Say a reseller buys 20 pair of those, but it was also a couple people in the line at the store where he bought these 20 pair, and that affected their chances of getting that pair. Now, he done sat on these shoes instead of getting them and selling them that day because he don't have the knowledge on should I hold or should I fold. Now he's stuck with all these pairs, then he gonna have to end up selling them for under what he got them for, or exactly what he got them for, when he could have just let them go that same day or gave other people the opportunity to buy the shoe. Because this specific, I'm glad we're speaking on this specific pair right here, the Jordan 4 Thunders. They definitely will be mass produced. They definitely have a lot of pairs made. Now, you still gonna see a lot of resellers trying to get their hands on as many pair as they can, which is really is cool. Like I said, I don't knock nobody hustle, but at the same time, when these shoes are mass produced at least that much, it's no need to buy them because it's not gonna be hard for people to get their hands on it. But that right there would be an unexperienced reseller, somebody that don't have the God-given talent to sell shoes, because those that have that specific talent, they know when to hold, they know when to fold. They know if these Thunder 4s was mass produced, it's a lot of pairs, I'm gonna get these joints today and I'm gonna sell them today. I don't care if I ain't gonna make all my money, I'm gonna make some type of money and then I'm on to the next release. See, but everybody don't think like that because that's just not their talent. They just being a follower. But I don't really want to get too deep into that because we all see what's going on with the resale market or whatever the case may be. And then another thing that's messing up the game for resellers, which is like, I say that to say, it's making people dislike resellers. And I kind of agree with some people. And me being a reseller myself. But I say that to say this. You got a lot of resellers that can get backdoor plays and get 50 pairs, 20 pairs, 30 pairs, 60 pairs, 100 pairs. And they be getting them at a decent price. Like Don't believe the hype when they tell you they not, because it's no way you buying a full-size run or 2 full-size runs for 300 plus. You ain't making no money. So they getting it for at least a decent price. But this is where it's destroying the culture, the sneaker culture, and people are starting to dislike resellers. Even the retail companies like JD, Nike, they be talking about resellers. But this is why though, because they get these certain pairs and they know that they got room to make some money, like just to make some money. If you got 20 pairs and you charging an extra 30, maybe $40 on top of each pair, that's a good profit. That's a good profit right there. But instead, they want 100 plus off of each pair. Then when you get stuck with them, they be looking crazy. See, but that's when you know it's not somebody that got a God-given talent to sell sneakers. Because when it comes to selling sneakers, I learned that fast. That was probably one of the first things I learned when I first started reselling. You gotta know which shoes to hold and you gotta know which shoes to let go. Some shoes you gotta get rid of. You get them the same day on that release date, you need to get them all gone that day, or at least by the next 2 days they need to be gone. Now some shoes, yeah, some shoes are worth getting some of them off and putting some of them in a cut. But people that does not have that talent, that's really just being a follower, or kind of, I ain't gonna say being a follower, just testing the waters and don't know what they doing. They don't know when that decision is supposed to be made. So, and it just affects other people because they done gotten away. Now they stuck with some pairs and people don't want to pay resale. Everybody don't want to pay resale. Everybody don't have money to pay resale because the market is going up. Jordan done went up on their prices. So back when shoes was, a pair of Jordans was like 150, the good pairs was probably like 180 at the most or something like that. That means that the resale value wasn't as high. But now that Jordan brand going up, the resale market is going up, because if somebody paying $225 for a shoe and you trying to come buy from them for resale, of course they're gonna have to hit you with a good number. What else they gonna do? They can't go under $250, or they can't say, look, give me $270. They not making no money. So the more that Jordan brand go up on the prices, the higher the resale gonna go, the higher StockX market gonna be. So it's like, it's really just a domino effect. Like, it's like Jordan brand and Nike brand or whatever shoe brand it is, they control the market. If they go $250 for a pair of shoes and there's hype behind it and everybody want it, now they're going to resell for $450 or better because of the retail price. But that's just one topic. Oh man. But that definitely was another topic that your boy had to touch on, man. Reselling and scalping, man. Everybody want to be a reseller. It has become a breeding ground. I mean, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. We definitely, hold on. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing because you definitely get a lot of love in the sneaker community. It's definitely a lot of good people involved in the sneaker community. But at the same time, sometimes people just got to know when something is not for them and when something is for them. So you gotta know when to hold, you gotta know when to fold, man. But that's that. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below if y'all agree. Even if you are a reseller and you just beginning, let me know if you agree too and you feel like it's some things that you have already done that I spoke on in this video, because I have done it. I have bought shoes and sat on them and regretted it, thinking I was, thinking I was the man because I just started reselling. But you definitely got to know when to hold and when to fold. And finally, reason 3, hype culture. And I'm going to say that one more time. Hype culture. Social media and influence marketing has played a huge role in creating a hype-driven shoe culture. People now are more interested in owning sneakers that are endorsed by celebrities, rather than choosing sneakers based on their personal style or their personal preference. This has led to a lack of individuality and creativity within the sneaker community. For instance, if a shoe does not have hype behind it, it is 9 times out of 10, it's not going to sell out. We could take it all the way back to the Nike Dunk Pandas. Now, when the Nike Dunk Pandas first dropped, so many celebrities was wearing these Nike Dunk Pandas. I'm talking about Pandas was going for $350, $400, sometimes 500. I heard somebody told me one time they paid almost 500 for a pair of Nike Dunk Pandas. But that was only because a lot of celebrities was wearing it. The hype behind it was crazy. And to be honest though, it only died down because Nike kept restocking them. If they would have took that hype from when the Pandas had the hype behind it and then cut it off and stopped producing them for a while and then brung them back, they'd still be selling for $350, $400. But they kept mass producing it and messing it up. But anyway, that's another discussion for another time. Right now, we are talking about the hype culture. Now, I got a perfect shoe as an example, and these are unreleased. But these had a lot of hate in the beginning, man. A lot of hate in the beginning. But all it took was for 1 or 2 or maybe 3 sneaker content creators to say that they like this shoe, and it was over after that. And I'm quite sure y'all can almost guess what shoe I'm talking about. It is no other than the Jordan 1 High Next Chapter Spider-Man 2.0s. Now, it was so many people that did not like this shoe. I'm talking about this shoe was getting so much hate, like to the point, I'm gonna keep it real, I didn't like them. I didn't, but listen, don't play with me, y'all. Don't play with me. I'm not a hype beast, all right? I'm not a hype beast, but the first pictures, I actually didn't like them. For some reason though, I had my own reasons why I didn't like them, but I grabbed them because it was a great price. And when I compared them to the first Jordan 1 Spider-Mans, I felt like these gave a better feel, it gave more of a Spider-Man feel, not just a Jordan 1 Chicago that they know gonna sell out. But anyway, we're not really here to talk about the details of this shoe and talk about why I like it or whatever. I'm about to use this shoe as an example as I talk about hype culture. Now, when we got first images of this shoe, and it looked just like this, nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. Whoever did that mock-up or wherever they got their information from, it was spot on when we got the pictures of this shoe. Boom. Nobody liked this shoe. Everybody was talking crazy. But soon as a couple people that's deep into the sneaker world, man, said that they like these, everybody jumped off the fence. They was no longer on the fence no more. Now these were this, they was that. Oh my God, these are it right here. And everybody just started going crazy for them. But this shoe is just a perfect example as far as hype. But another thing that people do not pay attention to, I don't know how y'all feel or how y'all look at the SNKRS app, but if you think real deep, the SNKRS app is not an app for us just to buy shoes. The SNKRS app is more of a marketing place. The SNKRS app is a marketing place, you guys. They use that app to show us shoes, to do things like a poll and stuff like that, so they can know how to market their shoes, what price they should charge, how limited the pair should be, how they should do the release, and all that. So it's not just an app where we go and shop and look at lives and all that. Everything that they do for a purpose. They use that app to market out their product, to let them know what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. So back to the hype talk though. Hype is definitely killing the sneaker game, because nowadays it's like a shoe can be a nice shoe, but if it don't have the certain amount of hype behind it or no hype period, then it's a brick. But this is where it gets bad at. Now, if the sneaker world is calling this specific shoe a brick, that means it's discouraging for other people that feel like it's not a brick, that actually like the shoe. They feel like they can't get that shoe because everybody's saying it's a brick. So they don't want to be embarrassed, or they don't want to be known for having that brick. Oh, he went and bought them joints trash, they was cheap, they was on sale, But the crazy thing about it nowadays is a lot of these bricks, or so-called bricks, the quality control be way better than the bangers that they give us. So for real, it's like we don't really pay attention to what need to be paid attention to. And the hype is definitely a problem with the sneaker world nowadays. For instance, again, Nike, they pay attention to social media, they pay attention to YouTube, they pay attention to Google, they pay attention to all of this stuff. So they are using that technology to know what to drop, what to release, and how much to charge. That's why a lot of the times when we get them early looks on shoes, it'll say, sometimes it'll be like retail NA. They don't know the retail price. That's because Nike haven't given a retail price yet, because they want to see what type of hype this shoe gonna have, what type of high demand or low demand, so that way they can market out how they want to do it. If they gonna charge $225 and mass produce them, or if they gonna charge $190, $150 and make them limited. And another thing we really don't pay attention to, and that's because of the hype sneakers too. When it comes to mass produced shoes, it always be a shoe 9 times out of 10 that's going to retro or already retro plenty of times. And Nike knows this, so they mass produce it to give a lot of people a chance to get it. But when we get the limited pairs, they make it limited so that it's hard to get, so that every time they release it, it's a guaranteed sale. It's always going to have hype behind it. The market is always going to be there. Resale value going to be there. So that's why they make all the hype shoes limited. And that's where we shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to being hype beasts, or just chasing a hype shoe, or creating hype on a shoe. Once you do that, Nike starts to see that, and they make the shoes limited, because they know if they come out with the same shoe or anything close to that colorway or that specific shoe, it's an instant sellout. It's an instant high market, high demand, and they know this type of stuff. For example, back to the Spider-Mans. When nobody liked these, the initial drop was supposed to be, it was going to be at almost every retail store, just like the first Spider-Mans. But once they seen the hype started to grow on these shoes, that's why they shock dropped them. They shock dropped these shoes to see if they would sell out on the shock drop, to see if it was worth making these limited. So once they sold out on the shock drop, and they seen how people was acting, or the reaction to these being shock drop, now they switched the release. Now it's going to be a tier 0 release and a sneakers app only release. And I'm going to tell you why. Mark my words, I was the first to say this. After these release, on the regular release date, which is this month, I guarantee you they either going to shock drop them again, or they going to do exclusive access right around the time when the movie is about to release, or maybe on the same day, or a couple days before, or a couple days after. But I guarantee you they pulled the rest of that stock back that they was going to use for every store, and they're going to restock these joints, or shock drop them, or exclusive access. It's going to be something like that, I guarantee you, because they seen how the demand went up for these shoes as soon as they shock dropped them. But at first, when Nike was paying attention, when they first leaked these out, and Nike was paying attention to all the comments and people talking like, oh, nah, those not it, I don't like those are garbage, those are this. What did they do? They turned around, turned right around after seeing all that and hearing all that, and shock dropped them, watched them sell out. Now they made them very limited. Now they about to see what the sneaker culture really talking about. So it's like, Nike be kind of trolling us, y'all. They be kind of trolling us, but I feel like as a sneaker community, if we can really come together, get some big names, that's big in the sneaker community, and be able to use our voice, a lot of shoes will be more, it'd be more mass produced shoes. If we stop showing Nike the hype, even if we like a shoe, we ain't gotta let them know. Because once we let them know, that's letting them know how much they can charge, how limited to make the shoe, and a lot of other stuff. But if we can keep that hypeness to ourselves and just hide it to the day that they release, I guarantee you we'll have way more pairs than we have nowadays. Cause for instance, if this shoe right here gets hyped up, that means that Nike now they know that they can charge $250, $200, whatever, and they can make them limited because they see how we reacting to this shoe. Now, if they was to leak the image out and nobody hyped them up, like all of us just, even if we liked it deep down inside, and we all just kept it to ourselves, that will keep them off balance, because they wouldn't know how many pairs to produce. They wouldn't know how to release it. They won't know the market on them. They won't know none of that if we don't instantly show them that hype. They don't know what to do with the shoe. That means most likely they gonna mass produce it. They not gonna make less if they don't know if people gonna buy it or not. They gonna make a large quantity to make you wanna buy it because there's so many pairs sitting around. So there you have it, folks. Episode 2 of my 3 reasons why the sneaker culture has changed for the worse. Over commercialization, reselling and scalping, and hype culture is my 3 reasons. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below, do y'all agree on some of these points that I made, or do y'all have a different perspective? So let me know that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Don't forget to give this video a like on your way out. I definitely will be bringing y'all more content like this. I'll be dropping an episode every Friday with different reasons, or just talking about how the sneaker culture has changed, period. And I would love for y'all to engage with me in these videos so I can know to keep bringing this type of videos to the channel and keep bringing awareness to the sneaker culture. I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope everybody has a blessed, safe rest of their week, man. We got the Thunder Fulls dropping tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this video. But always remember to remain humble. Hug your loved ones. Let them know you love them, because you never know if you promise tomorrow. But other than that, we gonna get out of here. But catch y'all on the next episode. We out.